Oh, hello, it's Monsteroga. I recently changed my channel icon. It kind of had me thinking about the history of channel icons that I use today. I just want to go through the history of channel icons and I guess Monsteroga logos that I've used and such. And yeah, let's get right into that. Now, I do have all these mods enabled or whatever, don't worry about it. Now, I did say I wanted to avoid GD, but I mean, it's kind of unavoidable. We do kind of need to talk about 60. This is 60 user coins icon, also otherwise known as 60, or I will get that for you. And here we are, 60 user coins. This is the icon I've used for ages, like since forever, and in this exact color scheme. I don't know why I settled on this color scheme, but I do know why I settled on this icon specifically because one of the first content creators I watched was North to Childa all the way back in 2015. This was really the YouTube channel that got me interested in GD. Really made me fall in love with GD actually. He doesn't use 60 anymore, but he did used to. This is the icon Norkta used to use. He was most relevant, I guess, in like 2015 or so. His whole thing was like, oh, I remember this video. If Icons Could Talk series, that was like kind of his whole thing. Waves Could Talk. There's the original. You just kind of get it. This was my favorite GD content back in 2015 and 2016. So I made my icon his icon in his honor. So yes, there we go. I don't know why it's red and blue. I just kind of randomly decided that and it stuck. I have used other icons before. I know I used to use the hamburger icon, I guess you'd call it the Zobros icon, except it was yellow and red, like this, and purple. So yes, this did used to be my icon. Later on I changed it so that it was red primary and yellow secondary. And this was my icon for some time. There's also some very old videos on my channel where I used this icon and it had blue primary and green secondary. No, it's not it. This. So yes, I did use this icon for some very old videos. Anyways, yes, this is 60, my icon since forever. And I guess I'll mention the seahorse as well in honor of Zobros, who was another one of my favorite GD YouTubers at the time. Anyways, let's talk about my first YouTube channel icon ever. It was this. Um, Here it is. This is only 48 by 48. I really wish I had a higher quality version available, but I simply don't. Yeah, this was what my channel icon was from basically when I started the channel until sometime in early 2023. I guess it's also worth mentioning that I do also have this, which is like a much higher quality version, but the colors are inverted because this was for Monsteroga's dual portal clone, which was a former channel that I owned. And so, yeah, this has blue primary, red secondary. Now, I do have the original. I know where I can find the original version of this, and it is, once again, in Geometry Dash. This is kind of an unfinished joke-ish level that was going to be a thing. Anyways, yes, this level was worked on in, I want to say, like 2021. I never finished it, but the original Monster icon would have appeared in it at the very end. Right there is the original version of the Monsteroga logo. This is it. The channel icon was literally a screenshot of this. 41 objects. I think these are, yeah, see, it's kind of, it was passable. I made it so it was passable. Yeah, this is it. This is the original Monsteroga icon, channel icon, I mean. Very confusing, but yes, this is it. I don't know, man. And this is legitimately just like a circles level that I designed. Very interesting to look back on. The end of 2022, I believe November 2022, I decided to swap the channels over. So Dual Portal Clone, which was originally Monsteroga, became Dual Portal Clone, which is this. The new channel became Monsteroga, which is the channel you're watching this on right now. Dual Portal Clone would later be deleted, so you can't see it anymore, but yes, this was a channel that existed for quite a long time. Here's Dual Portal Clone before it was deleted and what the channel looked like. So yes, this is what it was. Anyways, yes, that'll do it for the first Monsteroga logo. And before we go on to the second Monsteroga logo, which began in very early 2023, I don't know the exact date, but it was very early 2023. I do want to call attention to this video. This is the second video uploaded to the current channel chronologically. So if you search oldest first, this will be the second one. At the very end of this video, there's something very interesting.
Yeah, well, that's about it. Thank you.
So there we go. That you will see this logo as Monsteroga. I forgot the exact context. I distinctly remember it. I don't know why I made it this. I know what this is. It's a screenshot from We Play Motion where the blanked out head is a deleted me, and I guess I thought it looked cool. But yes, I did make this the channel icon for Monsteroga. This would have been dual portal clone, but still. But it must have been fairly brief, like probably November and December of 2022 only. This was the logo. And I changed it back to the other one. Or I changed it over to dual portal clone. Just kind of a random one off. Interesting. Even to me, I mean, I was like, I think it'd be interesting to do something like this again, but like, I don't know how to. I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. The second ever official Monsteroga logo, which was this logo. This logo, obviously based on the last one. I drew it in Microsoft Paint in about 20 minutes. I don't know, I guess I was just finally, I'm going to use Microsoft Paint. I'm going to use all that graphic design skill to make something really awesome. And it was this. This is what I drew up. So yeah, this started in 2023 sometime, judging by Cody's levels being 4 months ago. This would have been late 2023 when the screenshot was taken. I did find this capture in the Wayback Machine. This is the oldest capture available. It says April 22nd of 23. So there's the logo then. Now there is like a full version of this logo. It was like a full image, which is this. This is the full version that I drew. And that's really all there is to it. Definitely not the cleanest thing in the world. I mean, look at all these aliasing artifacts, but, and like, whatever this inconsistency is here. Anyways, yes, this was the logo for probably the majority of the channel's existence. So early 2023 until sometime in 2024, this was the logo. So yeah, very interesting stuff. This, folks, was the original channel logo for Monsteroga, and you can tell it's kind of an intentionally bad version of the original. I drew this in class in Paint again, and I just added to show that it was the second channel. I drew this on the same day I created the Monsteroga channel, and I'm saying Monsteroga with a 2, because Monsteroga, the channel, with the number 2, was originally made for school projects and stuff. So I originally just drew this up as like a kind of crappy version of my other logo. And that was that. This stayed the Monsteroga logo for quite a long time. And like Monsteroga starts like way earlier than people think. Channel says what, April 18th? So yeah. But I didn't start posting videos, like legitimate videos on it until later. So yeah. We will get to this logo. Don't you worry. That is the first Monsteroga logo. I don't think this is the original either because it's got all these JPEG artifacts. I don't know. This is what the channel looked like when it first started, except the time it's called Monsteroga Squared. you can see no views on all the videos. And here we are. This is the third version of the official Monsteroga logo, and the one you probably will recognize the most. This logo, I believe the date on this one is correct. Yes, June 1st of 2024 this was drawn. And I finally got a lot better. I started using GIMP at the time, so I guess there's kind of a progression. First logo was a screenshot of something, and I used, I guess, GD as the graphic design program. Second logo, I used MS Paint, Paint again, and now we're on GIMP. You got the gradient here, and then you got there's these weird shadows. I used the filter to make it look like it was kind of like bulging out, like it was 3D. So that's why there's all these weird shading kind of artifacts. The third Monsteroga logo starting mid 2024, and it was used until just a few days ago when I switched the logo over. And then based on that, I updated the Monsteroga logo. Now this looks weird with the me on nothing, but I did this because YouTube forces your logo to be like a circle. This is when I really started leaning into Mario Kart Wii content, and the username I used in Mario Kart Wii was CGC Music Note Monst2. Star. There's a star at the end, but don't worry about it. But that is not the name of this me. The name of this me is LC for Life. LC, the number 4, and then life. Here's a shrunken down version that's closer to what it actually looks like. Anyways, yes. This is LC for life, and LC is obviously Luigi Circuit. That's why their shirt is green. And I mean, LC is the track that I've played the most. Here's one. I started using that me in this record. There was an earlier version of it that had black shirt color, which was this me. It says LC greater than GB2, but it used to be Monsteroga, the name of it. And before that, I used my own, like, personal name. That was just my name. But anyways, yeah, that is a brief history of me's. However, this me here is named CGC Monst2. This is the me that I use most often these days. The LC for life me is kind of like exclusive to LC. Here's CGC Monst2. The reason why this isn't the Monsteroga logo is because kind of a thing that was going on with me and Mr. Blah Blah at the time. We kind of had our own respective me's that were like representative of us. Like even though I used TGC, I was still just kind of known by LC for life, even though that was only on LC. The true version and the adjusted for your viewing pleasure version were both drawn on July 31st, 2024. Mr. Blah Blah freaking ripped off my logo on August 11th, 2025. So not even 2 weeks later, he copied my logo and turned it into this. This is Blah Blah's me, obviously. I just think it's kind of funny. I'm not even offended. I just think it's funny that he made his channel icon basically just like a knockoff of mine. But he can do whatever he wants. It's his channel. He can do what he wants with it. And that's really all I have to say. There's also a white stripe at the bottom. Not sure what that is all about, but very funny that Blah Blah made a ripoff of my logo. All right, moving on now to finally the current brand spanking new logo. Before we get to this one though, I do want to show off this other version that I drew earlier. Yeah, there was this kind of like older version. I drew this in GIMP and I thought it looked cool. It looked kind of like graffiti and I liked the kind of color effects. I said rebirth here with 2 forward slashes. I'm not sure why I did that, but that was drawn May 8th of this year. Brings us to now. This is the current brand new Monsteroga logo. It was drawn on July 22nd of 26. It became the official Monsteroga logo on August 9th of 2026 when I posted my latest video. This was drawn in Inkscape, which is an SVG program. So yes, it is like vector graphics and it is, I guess you could say, perfect. And it does have specific specifications, like it's 40 wide by 44 units tall. each point, there's, I believe, 14 points, and they all have like a specific location. Technically, though, the logo is transparent, so here's the transparent version. I just put it on a black background because I think it looks best on a black background. The white here is like perfectly in focus, but I made the blue and red kind of like out of focus because I thought it would make it look cool. And like even like spots like this right here, you get a kind of blending effect, which I thought was really awesome. But the blur didn't always show up great on everything. So I made a non-blurred version. So yeah, this is the non-blurred version. Official, unofficial. That is the last picture in my little slideshow because this is the current and brand new logo. Status of everything. Monsteroga, this logo. Number 2. Dual portal clone has since been deleted, sadly. Or unsadly if you don't care. I didn't care, so that's why I didn't. And finally Monsteroga, which is this logo. And just while we're at it, blah blah, which is this logo. He did not take into account the fact that it would be like rounded off because you can very clearly see a white stripe here, the bottom of his little circle. Whatever, that's every Monster logo. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.